Welcome back to Microsoft's Flight Simulator with the Rude Man, and we're back in Lynchburg, Virginia. And today's leg is going to take us to Savanna, Georgia. And so it looks like the weather's beautiful. I meant to fly this last night, and again, the day got away from me, and I came in and it was late. And I looked at the weather, and boy, it was cloudy all the way to Savanna. So I decided, well, it's late. Maybe I'll try this again tomorrow. So here we go. We're going to get started here. I am sticking with the jet. I'm just kind of liking this jet. I found out a few more things about it. And I think I pointed some of these out the other day. You have the chocks that hold the wheels. You have the pylons that get set out in certain places. I've found that if I'm not where I'm supposed to be parked, like let's say I was parked over here by the pumps, the little pylon things won't go down. And of course, we got the jets covered here, and the cover on the canopy, and the covers on the pitot and stuff like that. So let's go in and get this stuff all off and get ready. But I'm starting to find out more things about it. I'll show you a few of them when we get in here. Okay, first of all, let's put our batteries on, and that's going to allow us to start up in here. I'm going to take the storage cover off here. Now you got light coming in. The chocks can stay for now. Okay, things are popping on here as power comes on. We have a generator. I can't remember if you've seen that or not, but if we leave the batteries on, they're not going to last that long. And then as they get down in power, the batteries, you won't be able to start the engines. And let's turn these caution sounds off here. Just double check everything, gears down. The parking brake is on. All right. And now the other thing is we have two generators here. We're not going to use generators right now because I'm going to put outside power on. And we do that by, it's not automatic. I had to go in and find the external power in the sim itself and bind it to a button, which I did. So first of all, let's back up, try to do a little reality here. We're going to come back here and open the door so we can get out. Okay. And now we're going to get out, and I'm going to push the button that should put the generator in. And there it is. Generator is on. And it hooks very nicely in this little spot right here where you just open that door and plug it in. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to go back inside. And then I'm going to show you, let's see, how you can set this up. Is you come in here and do the config, I think it is, and it's set for executive right now. And excuse me if I've shown you this already, I can't remember. But I just, every time I get in this plane, I like it a little bit more. So if we look in the back here, you've got, for executives, you've got two spots for executives. And they've got all the comforts of home, the Bose stereo system and that kind of thing. And also, they have something else that I didn't know, and that's right here. They have access to movies and TV and the like. That's kind of cool. All right. And then we can set it for complete. And with complete, it completes all of the seats in the back. So we've got seats in the back now, so it'll seat 5 people now, not just not just 2. And of course, that doesn't include the crew and the flight crew and the pilot. Okay, so now I'm trying to figure out what the difference between this and family is. I don't see any armrests, and I think it's the size of the seats that might be different. So let's go back up front and set it to family, and then go back and take another look. I really can't see the difference. Unless it's in this. Well, I just can't see the difference between family. Unless it's the cargo. It might be the cargo. Anyway, so you've got the 3 settings for that. And let's get ready to go. I'm going to leave it on executive because right now it's just me and the co-pilot. So we'll leave it at executive. Did I show you the luggage? I can't remember if I did. You can set the luggage. So if you open up, let's see, if you open up the config here, no, statics, there we go. If we open up the statics, we can open up the luggage door, and we can pop outside, and it is open. And if you notice, there's nothing in there. It's cargo space. So if you are going to go as luggage as a family vacation, and you click that, then you have luggage for each individual. And if we go to a golf trip, we've got golf clubs and bags. And if we go as a snowboarding trip, then there's snowboards and luggage and gear. So that's kind of cool. We're not going to do any of this, so we'll just turn that off. If we can turn that off. Can we turn it off or not? Oh, well, doesn't matter. We'll leave it. Oh, wait. I do have to close it again, though. So was it statics, cargo door? All right, config, we're going to leave it executive. Okay, so let's get going here. We need to first fill the plane with fuel. I don't want to get into that again, where we run out of fuel. So let's... you have to do that. There's no way to do it from the plane or the flight plan or anything like that. It has to be done in the sim. So we have to go to weights and balance, and we can put the... I'm just going to fill it up. We don't have a lot. We don't have any cargo. We just have me and the pilot, co-pilot, so that's not a big deal. Now, there is a way of going in and setting up a flight plan and things like that, and cargo and that, and you can sync the fuel with the plane, with the flight plan, and you do that by what was it? Is it utilities? I think it's the initialization that you can do that. That's what I think anyway. I think it's the initialization that you set, that you can link up the initial fuel, and you just sync it right here, and it'll sync it up 298 gallons. And then when you're done with all your initialization, then you accept that initialization, and you're all set to go. In this case, I'm just going to do a direct flight. I'm not going to do a flight plan of any kind. We're going to fly it ourselves. So we just need to know where we're going. And we're going to, it already knows where we're at. So we're going to go to Savanna, which is KSAV. Okay, and that'll set a course in for us. And we're going to enter that, and then we're going to activate it, and that should put it up here on the screens here. So we're all ready to go with that. We don't need to do anything else. I'm going to start at my initial of 6,000. Okay, and then we'll put our flight director on for now. We'll do the rest when we get up in the air. Okay, let's start flipping some switches. I did find out a few things. And again, forgive me if I've already said this. I'm 3 or 4. I'm getting ready to go on holiday. I'm trying to get a bunch of these recorded so that you'll have something to watch while I'm gone. And I can't remember where I left off because I'm having to do all this very quickly. All of the recording, the editing, the rendering, all of that. So I may have mentioned this before. Now this auto switch I thought had something to do with this, but it does not. This is just a timer of how many hours you've got spent on the plane. And it hasn't changed, so I'm thinking that this is in the air, but I don't know for sure. It may be engines running for all I know. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. This light switch over here, on, auto, and off, these affect all the cabin lights. And when you have it on, of course, they're on. When they're off, they're off. In auto, they come on, and then when the door is closed, and they'll automatically go off at a certain time. So that's what that switch is. So I'm just going to leave it in auto and let it go. I think that's where it's at now, but I'll leave that at auto. So there's that. The other thing, I mentioned the headphones. Now, the headphones come off in the info panel, and again, it's part of this right here, and the Bose system. We turn the headphones on. That puts the headphones on our head, and the active noise reduction reduces it puts a sound dampening in the headphones. Now this is part of the plane, and if you remember, I said I thought that you had to make sure this was on, that the headphone was on in the sim itself. And that's not it. It would be in the general options. Okay, the sim itself has a headphone choice here, off or on for headphone simulation. And I said that I thought maybe that had to be on here in the sim for that to work. I was wrong. It needs to be off in the sim for that to function like they want it to function in the plane. So if you want to use the headphones in the plane, and the sound reduction, don't have this on. So anyway, I just wanted to clear that up because I assumed incorrectly. So we're going to put the headphones on, but we're not going to do it until we're ready to go. So let's get started here and get things set up. I also found out that the light switches here, when you hit some of these light switches, like the strobe will go on, and then the landing gear go on, the ice. I don't know if we need that or not, but I'm going to turn it on. In other planes, there's 6, 7, 8 light buttons. In this one, there's only a couple, and they control everything. So when you hit the strobe, you don't have to worry about the beacon. It's the same kind of, it's all linked up. Okay, this stuff over here is ice protection. I don't think we're going to have a problem with that for the ice engine icing up, the wings, that kind of stuff. We're not going to have a problem with that, so I'm not going to do anything there. The probe heat I'll turn on once we get close to the runway after taxi. I don't want that running and overheating while we're just getting the plane to the runway. We'll get it in the air, and then we can probably turn the probe heat off. I don't know. Master oxygen we do need in the fresh air. I'll turn that on. And I'll have to remember to turn the generators on after we get rid of the external power and we get up in the air. If the generators are not on, then you're running on the batteries, and the batteries are going to run down in power, and you're going to your equipment's going to turn off. So we need to make sure we get those generators turned on once we get en route to our destination. So that's all we need to do. We're ready now to start the thing. The only other thing I have to do is, let's see. Let's close the door. Get the door closed up here. I love these sounds, by the way. That's so sweet. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the plane. So we're gonna flip that on. Do that. We're gonna come up here and we're gonna put our headphones on. See how much that cuts the sound down on the inside? Sweet, huh? We can turn these caution lights, our sounds off. External power still on. Probe heat is off, and the parking brake is on. Okay, so let's set our. While this is warming up, let me cut the throttle down a little bit. We're going to set our barometer. Get that set, and our throttle is okay. We're going to be flipping some of this on when we get to the runway. Fuel is an automatic. That's good. I think we're ready to go. So let's go outside and get rid of the external power. All right. Okay, we'll go back in. And let's see, we need to get rid of the chocks and the covers. The luggage door is closed. And I think we're ready to go. I think we can get by without having to push back. So let's take the brakes off. All right, and then I need to find out how we're setting here. Let me pull my monitors up onto my other screen so I can see what's going on. All right, and we're going to be heading out to the right, but I don't know which way the wind is blowing, so I'm really starting to like this plane. Is that a windsock? There we go. Okay, so I'm trying to see if the wind is terrible. It doesn't look like it is. Normally, you're supposed to take off against the wind, like I've said before. And this time, the wind is going in the other direction from where I want to take off. But it's not even hardly moving those. So I think I'm going to be okay. And I don't think I need the whole runway. So, and there's a little breeze blowing, but it doesn't look too bad. So I think I'm gonna take off from here. I think I got enough runway. Let's put a flap down. Flap is down. Okay, and then before we take off, let's hit that. Gonna hit our generators and the probe heat. Let's do that. And we're off. I think we can take off at around 100 miles an hour. Okay, rotate. All right, yeah, a positive climb. And put the flap up. That'll bring our nose down a little bit. And then gear up. Let's autopilot, nav, and then on the throttle we're going to do auto throttle. We'll keep it on FMS. That's going to manage it for us. Flap is up, and let's see how we're doing. Okay, we're climbing to 6,000 feet. Everything looks good. Just waiting to see if we're going to bank. GPS is on. Huh. Okay, our speed should start coming up. We're kind of low on speed. Oh, I think I know why. There we go. I need to turn that on. That'll control the speed and the climb. So that'll be better. Okay, we're coming to 6,000. Leveling off. And the speed's starting to pick up. All right. Sit back and enjoy the flight. It looks like a beautiful day. Oh my goodness. So much different than yesterday. Yesterday was just some nasty rain clouds, and there was so much clouds we couldn't even see the ground. I had to rise up to about 12,000 feet, and it was as cloudy as far as I could tell. Looked at the weather, and it was going to be that way all the way down to Georgia, so it was late last night, and I said, you know what, I'll just do this tomorrow. Alta Vista. Alta Vista. That I've heard of that before. I'm sure there's probably more than just one. Aircraft engines. I'm going to turn that down and see if we can control that a little better. Those jet engines are, that's a little better. The jet engines are really loud. On the big jets, when you get in front, it kind of cuts the engine noise out a little bit, but what I have been doing is I've been cutting the sound down in the editing version of the video. So when I edit it, I actually reduce the sound of the externals down a little bit, but that's a pain in the butt because I have to do that through the whole video. Every time I switch from inside to outside, I have to adjust the outside sound. It's a pain. There's Motley. I don't want to turn it down too much, but let's just try a little bit more. I think I'm adjusting the right thing. Aircraft engines. Let's put it down to 45 and see. By the way, the time that I started making preparations for the flight was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And now it looks like this part of the country is a little bit more inhabited than on the west side of the states, where there's a lot of desert, there's trees, there's mountains, there's a lot of, if you remember the flight from Montana, and I kept mentioning that it looked like no man's land because there was no habitation, and even when it was farmland, there, you didn't see a lot of houses. There's a lot of farmland. And here, you see more little towns linked to bigger towns. And if there's some farmland, there is some farmland. You can see it here and there. But if you notice, there's a lot of forest. There's a lot of trees. But it's a little bit more habitated. Like this. There's little towns everywhere out here. That's a cute little town. There's some farmland all around here. What is that? That's kind of strange looking. We had an update in the game, which is another reason why I didn't record last night. I had some problems with the game, and the game actually, it froze up on me twice, and then at one point it kicked me clear out of the game. It kicked me to the blue screen kind of a thing. And there were some updates I had to do on planes, that kind of thing. It seems so far to be running a little bit more stable tonight. Tomorrow's Friday. We're going to be leaving Saturday morning for spring break. I'm taking the kids to the condo in Central Oregon for a week. We're expecting snow. The condo is right around Mount Baker, so there's a ski resort. We have to pass over Mount Hood, which you saw me fly over Mount Hood in a previous flight. I flew over Mount St. Helens and Mount Hood. What kind of a complex is that? I don't know what that is, but it's a pretty good sized building. There's a lot of pretty good sized buildings down there. So I looked at the weather. They're expecting snow for the first half of the week, which means I'm going to have to go over a mountain past a ski resort to get there. I'm not nervous because I've driven in bad weather an awful lot. I used to drive truck back when I was young. And I had to chain trucks up all the time. The thing that makes me nervous is the family. I've got my family with me, and that makes me nervous. But I'm not, as far as the drive, I'm not afraid to drive in bad weather. I know how to drive in bad weather. What you have to watch out is for everybody else. Some people seem to think if they've got four-wheel drive, they can drive 90 miles an hour. You can slide out off the road in a four-wheel drive just as easy as a two-wheel drive if you hit ice. Four-wheel drive's not going to help you. Mount Herman but it'll be interesting. The kids will like it. We don't get snow here. This year we've gotten absolutely no snow. Wait a minute. We got some flurries one night. It was gone the next day. Normally, if we do get any snow, it's maybe a quarter of an inch, a half an inch, and it lasts for maybe, at the longest, maybe a week. But that's not much. So they'll be excited about that. There's another kind of a city over there. This is what I mean by saying this country is a little bit more inhabited. Look, there's houses obviously down there everywhere. They may be scattered. This may be country, but you still see a lot of housing. There's a lot more habitation, a lot more civilization than on the west side of the United States. I mentioned in a previous video that it's kind of makes a little bit of sense because, you know, we discovered the country on the East Coast and then migrated to the West Coast. And each time there was a wave of people migrating west, they would homestead and they would build civilization. And then the next wave would come and they'd go a little bit further. Now, the way that would work was as each wave of people would go west, a certain number of them would get to a certain point and say, you know what, there's a town here. This is good enough. Let's not go any farther west. So as they went west, things between the East Coast and the West Coast became more populated because more and more people would stop at a certain, you know, and say, this is far enough for us. You guys keep going. You know? So it kind of starts getting less people and less people until you get to the West Coast. Once you get to the West Coast, then the people would settle there. But even so, if you think about the West Coast, you're talking from Canada to Mexico, you're talking Washington, Oregon, and California. Those are the three states that make up the West Coast. If you think about it, Washington has Seattle. Seattle's a pretty good-sized city, but it's nothing compared to LA, Chicago, New York, any of those big cities. Seattle's not that big compared to that. Now, Portland is the next biggest city, Portland is the next place where you would have a big city. It's not. It's only, half the size of Seattle? It's not a real big city. And then you have LA. Now, if you start comparing that to the East Coast, it's not comparable. There's pretty good roads down there. Look at the size of these freeways. It's kind of hard to tell from up here, but those are some major roads right there. Listen to the wind up here. Hey, there's Wharf. That's an airstrip. All right, so what are we looking at here? We're looking at coming down from Virginia. We left in West Virginia, and we're coming a little bit of Virginia, and then we come into South Carolina or North Carolina, and then South Carolina, and then into Georgia. So we're probably, we're probably in Virginia now. When we left Lynchburg, we were right on the border between West Virginia and Virginia. So we're in the southern or southwestern part of Virginia now, and then we'll be moving into North Carolina. So if we're looking at this map here, We were at Lynchburg right here. And then Virginia, we got North Carolina. There's Charlotte. So we're going to be coming from Lynchburg, where we were, straight down to Savanna. Pretty much a straight line. So we'll be going through North Carolina, South Carolina, and end up right on the border of Georgia. And then from there, my plan is to kind of fly down into Orlando and do a 380 and come back up. So my plan is to do the east side of Florida, make it a U-turn, and come up the west side. And then from there, we'll be moving west back over to California on our trip. So we got all this stuff in the middle that we'll have to save for another day. We're hanging on a managed speed of 250. This plane is so automatic. It's just unbelievable. Now look at that. What is that? There. That looks like... That's a city, isn't it? What city is that? Interesting. I don't know. Let's see where our plane is at. Piedmont. Okay, that's Greensboro. That is Greensboro. Okay, that means we're in North Carolina. Pleasant Garden. Doesn't that sound like a nice place? That sounds like a nice place for... We should stop and see if they've got a Olive Garden in Pleasant Garden. Have some salad and breadsticks. All right, I'm going to take a moment to heat up some tea water. I'll be right back. Alrighty, we're still in the air. What lake is that? Or is that even a lake? What would you call that? It looks weird. Trying to see it on the map here, and I can't really. I see the lake, but it doesn't have a name on it. Some big roads down there. A lot of people. Black Creek. See if I can find Black Creek here. Greensboro. There's Greensboro. We flew over that. A place called Randleman. Cedar Grove. Wow, there's a lot of trees down there. Look at that patch of trees. My goodness. Amazing. Well, no crashes so far. Got a little bit of a hill range there with some water. We got to be getting close to South Carolina. Ophir doesn't look like a very big place. Man, I can't get over all those trees down there. Wow. That's quite the area. And every once in a while you get a clearing with some houses. Isn't that kind of weird? Yeah, that's kind of a hilly area right there with some water. And I'm looking... There's water all over the map, but... Ophir. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Ooh, Harry. Ooh, Harry. Jordan Field. Saw that someplace. Is that a town? Petey. Petey. Holy smokes. How'd you like to be from Petey? Mount Gilead. I saw that on the map as well. But what map? What map indeed? Anson Company or Anson County. It could be. It's a airport. Check the barometer while we're at it. We're at 29.96, and it went to 30.05. So the barometer changed a little bit. Should be a little airport called Wadesboro. Jetted over to the left. CHS Pineville. Huh. Well, we should be in South Carolina now. I always wanted to visit the Carolinas. It always looked pretty to me. I don't know much about it. I don't know what their weather's like. But it always just looked pretty. The Carolinas. Well, we've been in the air approximately 32 minutes. I didn't get the timer going until we were up in the air. I should have started it on the runway, but I didn't. Looks like we got quite a bit of farmland down here. Mount Croghan? Mount Croghan. Is that the name of the town? Doesn't look like much of a town. Okay, Pageland, I've seen that on the map. Pageland, South Carolina. 560 feet elevation. (3,354) is the length of the runway. There's a runway. There's a place, the Wild Irish Rose over here. What a name for an airport. It doesn't look very big. It's a soft runway, so it's either grass or dirt. So yeah, it really isn't much of a longest runway, 3,000 feet. It's probably the only runway. Off to the left in front of us is a wildlife. Carolina Sandhills National Wildlife Refuge. Off to the left, probably up in here. Or maybe over here. It's going to be too far away for us to see. It just shows it on the map. And then, again, off to the left, there's a state forest over in that area. Pretty good size. It's unusual to see a state forest. Usually the federal government packs it all up and takes it away. You see, we got some traffic in front of us, flying at the same height we're at. Well, he's a little bit higher than us by about 600 feet. A Skyhawk 152 should be off to our right a little bit, but a ways ahead of us. It's going to cross our path before we get there, I think. We're going southwest, and he's going pretty much east, about maybe 15 degrees south. I may have to refigure distances for these legs on my trips because this jet's a lot faster. It's like the difference between 150 and 250 miles an hour. So it's about 100 miles. It's anywhere from maybe 80 to 100 miles an hour faster. Yeah, we're doing good on fuel. We only used a quarter of a tank so far. Oh, I was going to check. And it is taking it out of both tanks. That's supposed to be automatic. Oh, it looks like a guitar without a stem on it. Maybe it's a cello. Bethune. What? Bethune? All right, you see, we're still in South Carolina. We're getting close to our destination, I think. And I still haven't went out and get my tea. Maybe I better do it real quick while I still have time. What are we looking at here? Where's that other plane? Oh, we've already passed the other plane. It passed right in front of us. And I don't see it. There, no, that's not it. Yeah, Should be over there now. I didn't see it. All right, I'll be right back. All right, what we got? Woodward. Or Venter? How in the hell do you pronounce that? Shaw Air Force Base. There's an airport. What airport is that? Oh, that's the Air Force Base. Oakland. Are we in California? Statesburg. Oakland and Statesburg. Over to the left was Sumter. Looks like we got some kind of a body of water over to the left here. Is that a lake or must be a lake? I don't see any river coming through. Manchester State Forest to the left here. So that's a state forest over here. There's an airport called St. Matthews Airport. It's dirt. It's a dirt track, I think. Yeah, it just says soft, so it's either grass or dirt. Not very big. It's only 1,000 foot, very small. I don't know if I could take off from 1,000 foot. I can't see what that is. Lake Montour or something like that? Yeah, St. Matthews Airport. You'd need a wing and a prayer to get off of that at that small a runway. It's weird how that lake just is straight across right there. It's been a beautiful day. I can't believe it compared to what yesterday's weather was. Quite a bit of farmland underneath us here. There's McNeil. 2,600-foot runway. It's also a dirt runway. Like I said, I like to keep track of the airports around here because if you have an emergency, now that plane I was flying before, I wouldn't have any trouble landing or taking off of 1,000 foot or even less. But this, I have to hit at least 100 miles an hour before I can take off. And on a dirt track, I doubt if I could get that speed. I'd have trouble. And there's a little track up ahead, 4 holes field. You can barely see it on the map. It must be gigantic. There it is right there. 4 holes field. Oh, what's this? Cameron. Where's Cameron? They got a clover leaf right in the middle of their, whatever that is down there. The hell is that? Is that a big farm? I don't know what that is. It's surrounded by farmland. I wonder if that's just a big ass farm. That silage bags down there, hard to say. A lot of farming around here in between all the trees. Should have another Skyhawk off to the side here. Orangeburg Municipal. Hard runway and it's lit. They got aprons, taxiways, parking, fuel, and procedures. Little town or something off to the left there. Don't know what it is. Interesting the way they cut that area out. There's a place way west of here called Polecat Aerodrome. Polecat, that's a skunk. That's what we used to call skunks. A polecat. We're coming up to a place called Moccasin Creek, and I don't think it's a city or anything. It looks like a little airfield right next to Shiloh Plantation. Shiloh Plantation is 3,683 foot runway. Another snaky little river down there, kind of, sort of, going through all the trees. Look at that. That snaky river going through the forested area. All around. I wonder if South Carolina is bigger than North Carolina. They may be about the same size. Coming up on 55 minutes in the air, there's Shiloh Plantation. And then there's that place right there is that other, what'd I say, Moccasin Creek. Two little airstrips that close together. Isn't that weird? Smokes. Really? That's the name of a town. Smokes, South Carolina. I don't know, but I think my traveling days are behind me. But I'd sure like to see the Carolinas. The way things are now, I don't want to travel outside my own yard. And I think we're going to have passports just to fly within the United States now. I think I saw something about that. There's Williams, little bitty town's not even on the map. Well, it's not on the map I'm looking at. Hanaria field. That thing like diarrhea. One of the Rhea twins. Islandton. What's an island? Islandton. Doesn't look like there's water around it. What would make it an island? Wow, another big forested area. Look at that. Off to the left here, there's a place called Hollywood. We're not in California, long ways from it. All right, we're coming close to our destination. I got to pay attention here. There's little islands just off the coast. One's called Hilton Head Island, and that's close to our destination airport in Savanna. I noticed that when I plotted it, it said Savanna Hilton Head, so it's like part of the area, I guess. All right, let's see. Trying to make up my mind which direction I want to come in. How are we doing on fuel? We used 40% of our fuel. Richland Claudine. What's that? Airport? It's an airport. Now, this airport that we're coming to, it has a couple of glide slopes, but one's coming from the west, and the other's coming from the south, and we're coming in from the north. So my little trick about coming in on a glide slope, I'd have to go west for a ways and come back east. I can do that. It's not a problem, but might want to get a little bit closer. It's a different color green in here. Now, from here, look at that dark blue water there, and then what's that? That green, a light green color. Is that water? That's weird. I wonder what makes the water that color. Algae. Alrighty, well, we're getting close. We should be able to have it in sight here pretty quick. I'm going to have to decide a plan of attack to get into an airstrip. So let's come down to about 36. Kind of like the way this plane is set up. I mean, there's your gear right there, easy to get to while you're still able to see your controls. See how the passengers are doing. They're doing just fine. Co-pilot's fine. Yeah. There is a mod I can get that actually puts the co-pilot in so that you can see the co-pilot. I don't know what that would do for me. There's our airport. Is that a runway? Might be. I'm going to take it out of autopilot and slow her down a little bit. Let's see here. Let's take this off. And see. Where are we now? I've lost myself. All right, let's put gear down. That's a runway there. I think I'm going to go for it. Oh, man. I'm going to get the stutter. I hate it when it does that. Put a flap down. When it stutters like this, it's hard to come down because it's too easy to overcorrect. And you think you're correcting, and then all of a sudden it stutters and jumps, and you find out you're corrected too hard. Okay, landing gear's down. Keep a little bit of throttle here.
500.
All right. Yeah, the stutter's not helping. Well, I hit little.
Stall.
Oh,
Stall. Stall.
that was bad.
Stall.
That was bad. I was doing so good. Sorry, plane. Oh man, I was doing so good. Well, hey, we're in the middle of the runway and we're alive. Small consolation, eh? Dang, that was... I hate when I do that. I'm not used to this. Well, there's no excuses. I should have done better. The stutter bothers me. If it wasn't stuttering, you come in so nice and easy without the stutter. But I keep trying to overcorrect, and that's what I did. I was coming down just fine, and I pulled up on the throttle, and I shouldn't have. But I got to get used to this plane. I'm not used to flying this plane. Hey, it flies itself. It's just a landing and a takeoff I have to take care of. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's come over here. Find ourselves a little parking spot. What a beautiful day. There's not a cloud in the sky. Hope I didn't hurt the plane. Where's all the airplanes at? That's not a plane. No, it's not a plane in front. Where is all the traffic? I may have to update my mods that I've got on for traffic and stuff. We had some planes back here. It was a big plane. Oh, maybe they're over there. That's where the tower's at. Oh, come on, truck. He's going to hit me, isn't he? Is that a representation of the airfield? Must be. There's parking over on the right. There's some big jets over there. I'll go over, see if I can find some company. Let's see. I'll get a little closer here. That could be motels for the airport. Yeah, I'm going to cross over. I don't see any planes. Those are cars. Something about flying a jet, man. These things are... They just want to get turned loose. It's a sleek little snot. I like it. Once you get it in the air, it's pretty easy to handle. I just got to get used to the landings and the takeoff. The takeoff's not bad. Landing, though, jeez. I really screwed that one up. That's as bad as I've done in a long time. So we're in Savanna, Georgia. Never been here. Never been to Georgia. What the hell did I just hit? About tip the plane over. Is there a bump in the road? A lumpy bump? Could take here, I guess. Look at that yellow plane, man. That's bright. All right, I'm gonna park it right here. See if anybody cares, huh? All right, let's go in and get this thing ready to park. Let's see here. We can put the chocks out. See if that worked. Didn't seem to. I wonder if the chocks, because I've got the engine running. Let me shut the engine down. We'll just turn this off and stop it. Didn't put the chocks out. Okay, so storage cover. Oh, take cover off. Covers and protections. Huh. I wonder if I had to be further up, maybe. Hard to say. Did it put the chocks on? Is it setting on chocks? I think it is. And the covers are on. It just didn't put the pylons on. So that's okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn this stuff off. Put those off. We'll leave the batteries on for the moment. And put the cover on. What do we got on the counter? 50 hours on the counter. So, all right, cut the batteries. Cover's on. Go outside. Everything's covered up. Jet engine's covered up. And we're all ready for the next run, I guess. Welcome to Savanna, Georgia. Beautiful weather. MEA. All right, well, I hope you had fun. I hope I didn't jar too many people with that landing. And I don't know what we're going to do next time. We're going to be close to Florida, and I need to decide how much time that we've got to go down into Florida, because it's going to be a double trip, because I was going to go down that into Florida on the left side and come back up the right side. So go up down the east and come up west before we head out to Texas and California. So might be a longer trip. It might be that I just fly down to Florida and park it for the night and then come back. I don't know. We'll see. I think that's going to happen after I get back from my trip. So I think I've got enough flights so far to hopefully entertain you until I get back. Hope you had fun. I hope to see you in the next one. Ta-ta for now.